Good afternoon. This is Cara BC of the Ministry of Uncover No More. I'm about to feed my cats their dry food a little late. I just had my first cup of coffee, but I've gotten a lot done today, and I'm going to go ahead and do 3 poems in a row. So I'm going to be busy next week, not reading poetry, but interpreting it with runes and other oracle, doing beautiful artwork to my heart's content, and healing some more. And today I'm channeling Elizabeth Barrett-Browning for these poems. And they are 2 very perfect poems of hers. This is from, here's something. Oh, I didn't see this. Okay. Because she evidently... Okay, so I began to peruse this. Interesting that I'm being called back. July 12th, 2023. I've made a statement about Elizabeth and Robert Barrett-Browning's work that it's going to be Christmas, but I was very definitely called back to Elizabeth Barrett-Browning. And the reason, but only her this time until Christmas. And then if you've ever even begun one poem of Robert Browning's, you'll understand why maybe it would be a good idea for me as both a poet and a reader of poetry with art and oracle, that I kind of have a little goal and be kind to myself that I read one poem of Robert Browning's across Christmas, because they're so deep that you get lost. You get lost. Elizabeth Barrett-Browning is the master of sonnets. So I'm going to tack to Elizabeth Barrett-Browning's form here in the coming years. I will study sonnets. I can do that. And begin to understand that form and write some of my own. Evidently, okay, I drew Isis, evidently. Or just this, oh, okay. I drew Isis on July 12th, 2023. Let me read to you, which will also be printed in this work, what I said, how I interpreted that. Elizabeth Barrett-Browning had an honest approach. Isis helps me realize what is frozen in perception. In other words, what's frozen in me that I can't go past. And I can tell you point blank that it's misogyny in the Protestant, Catholic, Muslim, Republican Party paradigm. It's misogyny. Lots of kind men out there, lots of them, but they're struggling greatly with coming out of the habits of misogyny, and they're not doing very well. And that is an understatement. And I'm switching over to not even paying attention to it, is how this is going. Because they don't listen. And I'm sorry to say that, but that is the truth. I have been watching tiny home videos. We are old-fashioned tiny home people, our whole family. And so I was just reminding myself, and I've manufactured it primarily to give my knees a break, because I don't want to have knee replacement surgery like my mother. Her life and my life run along the same lines of being very active with the men in our lives. She didn't have 10 children. Do you have any questions? Okay, when it comes to the soul life, she has incest in her 10 sibling set background. Do you have any questions? Who do you think was actually taking care of whom? It was me taking care of my mother a lot of times. I am fine with that. She's resting in peace now. I have said to my partner over and over here lately with what's going on in the Republican Party, which is 100% criminal and gives us high level anxiety constantly, among other things, but it's one of them. You know, I've said over and over, I forgot what it is. The anxiety has been so high, I literally keep wiping my brain clear of this kind of thing daily because I believe in enjoying my life as it is now, and I always have. I can even give you scripture to back this up. So, the essence, but I'm translating my own situations because the negativity is leaving face-to-face communication with our family. And so you have to understand that a lot of things were cyclically, habitually, and continually said to me to a point that it could have driven me insane. And I could have gotten hooked on medicine because people were doing this. Some of them couldn't help it. They were having to get themselves out of the difficulty inherent within my situation. Some of them could have helped it, could have been more honest. So I'm having to divide between those two things and forgive different ways, forgive myself different ways, and forgive others different ways. And so that's a complicating process, but it is going to change exactly how I speak. And you have YouTube history of me evolving. And I've been tempted oh so many times to delete it, just like blogs. There's no way in fucking heaven I'm going to delete some of my work now. If you were to go actually take time to read and listen, it's high-level blog work. Reading poetry from people like this, making sure that the handwriting that I take time to do, I type it out for people who cannot read handwriting on a screen. Because I care. I always have. And that is one of the statements that was said to me over and over and over and over and over and over again, still is said to me. I don't care. I guess my infectious positivity is just too much for people in Texas. Well, excuse me for living. Greg Abbott. Y'all gave it your best shot controlling me. You lost. So you better shut up on social media and get a grip and mature already. Now, that's Elizabeth Barrett-Browning talking. And the thing is that I'm setting something for Christmas. I'm mortified, hurt beyond any way to say it, that I cannot keep my Christmas tree up as I wanted to do to honor my pagan history and decorate it 4 times a year. Well, you know what? I believe in not second chances bullshitters. I believe in remembering what I really want to do and someday doing it. So you can just hold on to your hat. I'll get it done. And I'll hair lip the entirety of Texas doing it. And I'll be able to open my blinds in my window of my office where my daddy's desk is, and you will get to see a tree 4 times a year looking slightly different. I started pulling out some of the ornaments that I had enjoyed painting because some of them are being mounted on a painting of mine. That was the first big one. And it's probably going to go between the 2 windows I'm sitting here looking at. There's a blank wall and it's going to be pretty. And I do not believe myself because I'm still hating my artistic side with painting. I can tell you exactly what I hate about myself. And I can tell you exactly how my visionary style is a blessing to me and actually gets me past it on a daily basis. I can also tell you that Elizabeth Barrett-Browning and I are the same person in many ways because of chronic pain. but hers was worse. And her father wasn't like my dad. He was type A personality misogynist who believed in total control. They're actually putting some men on Twitter right now saying, I don't believe women should vote. That goes back to Aristotle's time. Women are lesser creatures. Now I can understand why a certain somebody actually told me publicly on Twitter that we're no longer expressing ourselves in our discussions on, I don't like the Apostle Paul. That was an understatement. Please keep in mind, I've seen the man, so I do know what understatement is in his world. Thank you for your consideration, America. So anyway, I'm going to tack back here and restate what I've been saying. That to my partner, that, this is so far gone. It's just so far gone now. This election year doesn't even exist in any true form. But we're going to get out and we're going to vote anyway. This is so far gone. This is like non-existent democracy with the liberals that y'all hate on constantly and pick apart in social media. The Democrats are not actually liberals or socialists or any of it. The Democrats just are there trying their best to stay alive for the little people. Me, in other words. And they really seriously don't care whether you've got a penis or a vagina. And Ruth Bader Ginsburg is our leader. And it's no coincidence that after she died, they swooped in and did wickedness in the Supreme Court. So there you have it. Who was I reading? A poet. So I'm having to go really slow with his poetry. Oh, yeah. Okay, let me finish what Elizabeth Barrett. Let me read what I said, and I'm gonna go get that because God damn, this stuff's real. This stuff's so old, it's ridiculous. Elizabeth Barrett-Browning had an honest approach. ISIS helps me realize what is frozen in perception. My life always breaks the ice of personally. In other words, that's how I use runes, is to get my true self to come forth. Yet the standstills, because ISIS is the rune of standstills, of love remain across time. See, some things never change, of morality and truth and love in all capital letters. Nurturing those there is my priority. Many of us are that way. Politics have literally destroyed love in our political world. And there's people that are gleeful of the destruction of love and democracy in our world. If you can't see that, get a therapist already. You're behind in maturation. Sorry. Not sorry. Hold on. I believe it's Stephen Vincent Benet. But I may be wrong. It may be somebody else because I'm way behind on his poetic artwork in my life. But I keep reading because that's what I need to do. Let me see. No, it's not Stephen Vincent Benet. I wonder if that is Robert Frost. Because I'm reading. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, y'all. I'm gonna mention this, and then I will give credit to Frost. In other words, I'll put it in this video. But this is gonna go with this is going on the Barrett-Browning's blog with me, where they're mentoring me. 100 Callers by Robert Frost. I'm taking it one stanza at a time, and I just can tell you this. See, I've got the date today. It's 4/20/2024. He has this way of doing this whole piece, and then they in the actual publication, they double they double return, so that there's space between, and then he'll just put one line. I could sit for months at a time, doing chores, doing my stuff, and sit and just listen to Robert Frost talk, because we're of the same spirit and so is Elizabeth Barrett-Browning. This is Elizabeth Barrett-Browning, Robert Frost, and I. Words. We value words in a way that is hard to understand, and we're misunderstood a lot. So, but this is Robert Frost, and these poems, I don't know when these poems were wrote, but y'all, this is just so accurate. I'm just blown away. I was blown away this morning, sitting in a new little space I have with all of my things, and I just read, and then I have to go do chores because life happens. And it's like, how am I gonna, I've got to learn to slow down and just get into each poet's work, do my work, throw my oracle, get it up on blogs, because they are so woven together in beauty. I can't even. And I am talking about politics right now before I read two things that I have been called back to, two poems, two sonnets, because Elizabeth Barrett-Browning's sonnets are pure gold that will grow you in 2 seconds. And you apply oracle, and it goes so much farther. It goes for your family. It goes for your workforce. If you like candles and incense, you're going to take it into the heavens. That's you can do it with me. And we had so much deliverance work and some other things going on the past across my birthday. Today, upstairs, I ended up with a cone, dragon blood cone of incense with a tea light, to praying for something, interceding, invoking for some things, peace, 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 healing, 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 healing. And same thing downstairs. 2 different types of cones, which that fills up the whole downstairs or larger portions of it, and upstairs. And you don't want it burning when you're with a closed door, because it's pretty intense. So I put it in a place and open doors, see, because that's a cleansing move. It is very powerful when mothers do it. It is very powerful when mothers do it at the proper time. You can incorporate bells, but too many people like to curse with bells. The Christian church being it. The bell to bring you to church, the bell that rings every morning at the church, that's cursing you. As sorceresses and witches, female girl witches, kindly and gently, we need to come against the system, not people. I refuse to enter the realm of cursing people. As a matter of fact, I had to warn somebody, you are tempting me to pull a rune and reverse it here. And I cannot do that. So I'm going to have, and I've already announced it, I'm going to have to learn to leave the room when certain kind of conversations in my family continue. I am injured to the point that I just want to throw down and use that kind of power. And if you think I don't have that kind of power, you need to understand I'm not explaining what happened across my birthday. as Sorceress Tara and walk off this video and my life story, all my blogs, and all my beauty. As I've told someone who is still needing to heal more in my midst a long time ago, you do realize the evolution of me, but therefore, like my 10 kids and all of us, the evolution doesn't stop. But see, they view that still, they're struggling with viewing that as a negative thing because of their life issues, not mine. I have a lot of people who did not want to go into the metamorphosis of this life song. None of my 10 children are involved with that. The rest of my life story, minus the people Tara is talking about that are on the other side, the king, my brother, others, don't even think about that here. I'm talking about a Christian life. Do you realize how many people I've walked up off of and left them as lovingly as possible and continued ministering both in churches, coffee shops, on the ground, still doing it all the time, and am blessed with story after story of other people ministering to me and me ministering to them? Do you understand that? No, you don't. Nor do you care, because you're money making, you're stressed out, and you don't want to stop and learn of yourself, how to forgive yourself, how to love yourself properly. You will need to use implements like lighting candles and incense and learning oracle in this day and age, because they have destroyed us metaphysically, and they like that understatement. We are humans. We can build ourselves back, and we should. Now I'm going to read 2 lines from Robert Frost, the intellectual poetic genius, and you can see how far gone the Republican Party is with all their conservative bullshit. Though a great scholar, he's a Democrat, if not at heart, at least on principle. Now let me read to you what is before that. 100 callers. Lancaster bore him, such a little town, such a great man. It doesn't see him often of late years, though he keeps the old homestead and sends the children down there with their mother to run wild in the summer, a little wild. My daddy's mama did that, sent back to Comanche County for the summers. They lived in San Antonio, and she kept working because she knew she could trust her husband's people. They were all pastors, y'all. So, yeah, no, you really can't argue with me. My Davis Beatty family is chock full of a bunch of Baptist preachers. They probably would have a hard time getting along with me, but I don't have a hard time getting along with them, and you're not going to get my high-level testimony anymore at any of my coffee shops. So keep in mind, I have reasons to say what I say. You have nothing but regret henceforth. Walk off. Go fix your world. Get a therapist. Sometimes he joins them for a day or two and sees old friends he somehow can't get near. And when I read that, I knew exactly who was embodying this poem that I'm not even finished with. And it is the King of Kings, because I'm another person, and there are many of us, he would have to tell me how many, that cannot get near the people in our lives. I just told you that. Let's read on. They meet him in the general store at night, preoccupied with formidable mail, rifling a printed letter as he talks. They seem afraid. Oh, I've seen this. He wouldn't have it so. Nobody asked, believe me, nobody asked for people to be afraid of them. as the king and I have struggled with in our places. Nobody asked for that. Us too. Though a great scholar, he's a Democrat. If there is anybody in my testimonial existence that is 100% that, there's two men. Now, I will tell you that my partner is that, but still struggling with coming out of the stress of what we've been through. There's a lot of men around me that are Democrats at heart. But did you hear this? You can't talk about it. You will be bullied. Many of us have that issue in our lives. Again, if not at heart, at least on principle. That is 100 Callers, the beginning of it, by Robert Frost. Now, let's get to the meat of this. Strange video as it begins to rain at my house. I drew Isis July 12th, 2023, which is extremely close to my Lydia Joy's birthday last year and this year. July is her birth month. Sonnets from the poems of 1844. Let me see, just a moment. Let's learn a little something here. Yeah, this is beautiful. Sonnets are 14 lines, and I have a whole bunch of my testimonial existence established on the number 14 according to the book of Revelation. So if I do, Elizabeth Barrett-Browning definitely does, and we're both women according to 2 John, removing Antichrist. Does any Christian have any questions? Because you do, and your questions are only going to be picking on me and trying to win. That's why I lost you. Go home, leave me alone, get a therapist. I care about you. You do not care about the return testimony of the King of Kings or Cara BC of the Ministry of Uncover No More. It's what I am telling you. And I will be saying that a lot, as peacefully as possible. Irreparableness. Was today the day that Adolf Hitler was born? Or that he killed himself because he didn't want to face his consequences? I really don't know, and I'm not going to look. I don't give a fuck. I have been in the meadows all the day and gathered there the nosegay that you see, singing within myself as bird or bee. When such do field work on a morn of May, but now I look upon my flowers' decay, has met them in my hands more fatally, because more warmly clasped, and sobs are free to come instead of songs. What do you say, sweet counselors, dear friends, that I should go back straightway to the fields and gather more? Another, soothe, may do it, but not I. My heart is very tired. My strength is low. My hands are full of blossoms plucked before, held dead within them till myself shall die. She was weeping for her flowers. And her next sonnet is Tears. And I am the woman that has manifested many poets and openly admitted I can open books. It's not happening so much anymore now, where tears were falling on the page as I was pontificating and writing artwork. And I've told you, writing poetry or getting this pain or that out of my life, that I've washed my face with my tears. Literally. So here she goes. Tears. Thank God, bless God, all ye who suffer not, more grief than ye can weep for. That is well. That is light grieving, lighter none befell, since Adam forfeited the primal lot. Tears, what are tears? The babe weeps in its cot, the mother singing at her marriage bell, the bride weeps, and before the oracle of high famed hills, the poet has forgot such moisture on his cheeks. Thank God for grace, ye who weep only, if as some have done, ye grope tear-blinded in a desert place, and touch but tombs. Look up, those tears will run soon in long rivers down the lifted face, and leave the vision clear for stars and sun. The poets have forgotten how to weep like this, but not this one. I will close with yet again recommending Ralph Waldo Emerson's Nature. It's a small book, power-packed with the very last line of the Sonnet of Tears of Elizabeth Barrett-Browning. Please remember that we need our older, seasoned poets and philosophers. We need to listen and leave the vision clear for stars and sun. There is something very healing to daily, or at least several times a week, view the moon, view the stars, and gently watch the sunrises and sunsets. You don't look straight into the sun. Don't hurt your eyes. It goes against the nature of you to hurt yourself. I love life. Weep your losses, for you have lost much. This is Cara BC of the Ministry of Uncovered.